Hey, thanks for listening. We are all doing life, but who knew life could be this funny? It's Doing Life with Maria and Chad. It's our podcast.
Just before we started the podcast today, I went to my mailbox, I opened it up, and I've been receiving these mysterious postcards that have been coming to me.
And you got another one?
I will tell you coming up on today's podcast.
Chad, I want to start the podcast off with a did you know?
Did you know?
Did you know that Anheuser-Busch sells candles?
No, I wasn't aware. Are they part of the Yankee Candle store, or is this something different?
No, this is... I'll preface this by saying that was a little misleading. There's a company that's actually owned by Anheuser-Busch. It's called Babe Wine. And they created football-scented candles.
Okay.
And they did this because we can't go to the football games. So maybe you can bring the football games home because NFL started.
What does a football game smell like is my question.
There is a set of 3 candles that you can purchase. You can't buy them individually. It's the entire set.
Yeah.
Artificial turf field, nachos, and the very popular jockstrap smell.
There's so many questions about each of those smells. So let's break it down. You've got turf smell, which shouldn't smell like anything. Maybe a little chemical-y, like new car smell, I'm guessing.
Plastic, because turf is kind of made of plastic.
Nacho, you got the corn chips, got a little bit of a scent to them.
Cheese.
The cheese. And then jockstrap smell. How do you create that?
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure. I bet that just kind of smells like locker room.
Yeah.
Not exactly sure where you're going to put that candle. Not sure if you light all 3 at the same time and have that whole mixture. But what do you think 3 crappy smelling candles are going to cost by Babe Wine, owned by Anheuser-Busch?
Well, let me ask you this. Are they officially licensed? Do they have the NFL logo on them? Or are they just...
that I don't.
Because that would make them cost more. 3 candles. Are they... I think how big. Let me go with $20 each, so $60.
You're really close.
Am I? Okay.
$69.
Okay. Yeah. I think isn't that the go? I don't buy candles, but we have plenty. My wife is a hoarder of candles. And so I never know what they cost, but I know that we have them. Is that $20 a piece? Is that pretty much the going rate for a candle?
I don't really buy candles. I know that was it Bed Bath & Beyond? No, not Bed Bath & Beyond. What's the other one?
Bath and Body Works.
Like Bath and Body Works.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have their 3 wick candles, and when they go on sale, my daughter's all excited because candles are kind of expensive.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think this is more of a novelty gift, but I thought it was kind of clever. I don't know. Thought it was kind of cool.
Maybe I'll have to buy some. Our friends that we do football Sunday with from our old neighborhood, Dave and Brianne. We had our first football Sunday yesterday, which was a little different in COVID times. People are trying not to be too close to each other and social distance and stuff. But
right.
It had been a year since we watched, almost a year since we watched football at their house. And have you ever seen how many TVs my friend Dave sets up?
Oh, that was Dave's house?
Yeah. 9 screens.
I honestly thought that you were like in the clubhouse where you live. Like they were having some kind of football party next to the pool, and that was the clubhouse.
No.
I swear to God, I thought that was it.
No, that was Dave's house. So every week,
oh my God,
I think 3 of them always are there, and then he adds the other ones so that we could watch we were watching a baseball game, every football game. I think there was maybe a car race, like a NASCAR race on one of the TVs. It's crazy.
Was the sound down then?
Well, that's kind of the problem because I'm a Lions fan, which was not a good day to be a Lions fan yesterday, and they are Packers fans. So if the Packers are playing, they always have the sound. So my game was off on the side with no sound, which turned out to be fine because it was horrible at the end. But it was impressive because I had to ask him, like, did you have this many screens last year? He's like, oh yeah, okay, all right, yeah. So
isn't that sensory overload a little bit? You have all these different pictures moving, and oh my gosh, it would give me a headache.
It's funny you say that. That was one of the conversations that I kind of started yesterday, is that I can only focus on one thing at one time, and I feel like women are able to multitask. So if I'm watching the Lions lose to the Bears again, that's all I can see. And then I hear somebody cheering. I'm like, well, what did I miss? You know, it really is like you need fly's eyes. It's kind of the sports bar experience, but it's a little too much because you just can't watch it all. Even if you can fit it all in your eyesight, there's too many things going on at one time.
I can't believe that was his house. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they just, in perfect timing for COVID, they installed one of those big ass fans. That's the brand, the big ass fans that spin around.
Really?
So to circulate the air. So it was like we were underneath a wind tunnel watching all of these sporting events. But the thing I haven't had a chance to tell you from the weekend is my injury. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. I'm going to pull my headphones back. I don't know if you can really... There's enough light. You can see the scratches. Can you see there on the side of my face? It's gotten better. It's healed.
Your microphone's in the way.
Oh, sorry. This happened on Friday night. My wife and I were going to visit some neighbors, and we decided to ride our tandem bicycle, which was a Mother's Day present from a few years ago. My wife got a tandem bicycle. So I'm on the front, she's on the back, and I made a turn on a sidewalk, pretty safe place to ride a bike. It was dark.
You would think.
And I realized that there was a tree that was overgrown over the top of the sidewalk. And I made a split-second decision to just go right through it. It was. I'm lucky I didn't lose an eye, be honest with you. Like, I went face first through this tree, and I just thought it was going to be like a light little bush. No, it was like a tree, right. And it scratched my face. I had like these 3 pretty long scratches on the side of my face, and at the other end of it, because again, my wife was on the back of it, so she got a little scratch. I took most of the punishment. She goes, "You're bleeding." I'm like, "I'm bleeding."
As you should.
I know. Well, it was totally my fault. I'm like, let's just go through it. It's fine. No big deal. But I just felt so stupid. I woke up the next day and I had blood on my pillowcase from the night before. And, it's kind of crazy.
Well, why didn't you, you're holding on to your, the handles of the bike. Why not duck?
It was too low. It really, it's, I want to blame the landscapers. It was just too overgrown. What I should have done is either stop or, got off the bike and walked it off of the sidewalk and around. But again, I made the wrong decision. And I've done that many times. I've been injured. But the reason I wanted to talk about injuries today on the podcast is, I don't know if you saw this. We don't really talk. We've been talking a lot about sports today with football, but this is in baseball. There's this guy by the name of Zach Wheeler. He, he left the Mets. He played for the Mets for 7 years, and he's a pitcher. And he just signed a 5-year, $118 million contract to switch and go to the rival team. Leave the Mets, go to the Phillies, right?
Wow.
He was not able to pitch over the weekend because he was injured putting on his pants.
How the hell do you get injured doing that? What did he do?
I don't know. How are there any other ways to put on pants when you make that kind of money? Do you put your pants on differently?
Well, when you make that kind of money, don't you have somebody to put the pants on for you?
I would think so. Or if I knew that my hands were the way that I make $118 million, I'd be very careful about everything that I did,
Well, excuse me, there's a lot of strings to the pants, right? Don't they cinch up or something?
Well, I don't think he was getting dressed for the game. I think he was just getting dressed at home.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes it even more ridiculous.
But he injured his nail on his pitching hand, and apparently that's a big deal. And I think he may pitch tonight or tomorrow, but he had to miss the game. I thought that was there was a guy when we lived in Detroit. His name was Joel Zumaya, and it was the playoffs, and he hurt himself playing Nintendo Wii with his kids. Apparently, he was way into the bowling or whatever Wii Sports. And I think he was out for the season and never really came back from that. But have you
Oh my gosh!
Have you had any dumb injuries? Have you run into a tree on a tandem bike before?
Well, I have 2 things to share with you.
Yeah.
One was my injury, and one is the injury I gave to my daughter inadvertently.
Okay.
I'll start with my injury. I was in Mexico, and I may have been drinking. and we
May
were
have
playing
when you crossed the border.
and we were playing volleyball on the beach.
Like you do.
And I know how to play volleyball, kind of. I mean, I'm not great, but I know how to play.
Yeah.
And I went up to set a ball, and all of a sudden, my pinky hurt really, really bad. So I'm swearing, and my husband's all embarrassed. He's like, "Shut up, it's not that bad." And so I go over to the side, and I'm not crying, but it hurt.
Yeah.
And so I had my hand covering my finger because I didn't want to look at it. And when I show my husband, my pinky finger was basically a Z.
Oh.
Like I had totally broken it.
Oh. So did you go to a Mexican hospital?
Well, it was out of like socket or something, or maybe it was broken. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah.
So I'm freaking out. My daughter is younger at this time, and she goes, "Mommy, I know you don't like to drink, but here, have some tequila," because it hurt. And then we had bought for those of you who go down to Mexico, they sell these monkeys on the beach, and they're holding a beer, and they don't have pants on.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend, Connie, gets the monkey, and she goes, "Maria, focus on the penis, focus on the penis." And then another guy took my finger and like popped it back into place. Like since it was broken, he kind of like lined it up again.
Yeah.
And so the penis was supposed to distract me. The tequila was the, anesthetic.
Yeah.
And then but it took him 3 times to do it. And it flipping hurt.
Did you focus on the penis?
I did.
It's just like you brushed across a very important part of that story. You said your daughter says, "I know you don't like to drink, but drink some tequila." That there's something that doesn't match up there.
If I said that, I meant she didn't like me to drink. Like she always thought I.
Oh, she was like, "This was your permission. You should have some tequila now."
Yeah.
I gotcha.
That's what I meant.
That is crazy.
Okay, and then the second story was, again, she and I together.
Yeah.
And we're up visiting my husband's parents, and they, at the time, they lived they lived here, but they went up north to get out of the heat. So we were like in Prescott, Payson, something like that. I can't remember.
Okay.
And they had rented this house on a hill, and there was this great, the road was this great hill, and so they brought their skateboards. And I go, "Lucy, sit on the skateboard, and you can go down the hill. It'll be really fun." She's like, "Okay." So she does that a couple times. She's like, "Oh, yeah, that is fun." Well, I will say the hill went into a valley and then went up another hill. And I go, "Hey, Luce, if you go up higher on the hill, you can take the skateboard down, go down the valley and up the other hill and over that one. Would that be cool?" And she's like, "Yeah."
Seems simple.
Well,
yeah.
Of course, she was too high.
Uh-huh.
She lost control and totally scuffed up like her butt and her side, and I felt so bad. And of course she had road dirt, I had to like scrub it out of her butt, and it was so awful. So that was mom being stupid and made my daughter have an injury.
I think the only, other than, my recent facial thing that I can think of, and I think I've told you this before, when the movie Dodgeball came out, that was when my knee trouble started. I didn't have an ounce of knee trouble. We were doing this radio promotion. The movie Dodgeball was out, and we decided to do a dodgeball contest with listeners. And I was super competitive, and no knee issues until this moment, but I was like trying to throw the ball and dodge a ball at the same time, if you can picture that. I had my right foot planted, and it didn't move, and I like tore my ACL, my MCL, my meniscus. I mean, I had to go through physical therapy, and then I tore that knee again when I moved here to Arizona. So, yeah, dumb injuries, doing stupid stuff. We'll have a chance. Oh, go ahead.
Actually, I have one more. You made me think of my husband's stupid injury.
Uh-huh.
And I think this was the start of all his back problems. I think Luce was 1 or 2 years old, and our neighbors had kids that were a little bit older, and there was a birthday party and a bounce house.
Uh-huh.
And my husband got into the bounce house and was like playing around with the kids, like the adults were in there because, that's what you do. And he hurt his back, and it has never been the same since. So he hurt it in a stupid kid's bounce house.
Was it like Because I can see this happening, like where his leg's straight and he kind of like jammed it. Is that kind of what happened to him, or does he know?
You know, I mean, it was so long. I mean, that was 19 years ago, almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't know if he was like, when you sit on your butt and you bounce back up. I don't know what the hell he was doing. But I really believe that was the turning point in his crappy back.
You know what's funny is, so I've played a lot of sand volleyball through the years, even after I hurt my knee, and I kind of made a vow that I would never do that again. And like a week ago, I was approached by a friend of mine, and he's like, when the weather's nicer, we're going to start playing sand volleyball. I'm like, well, that sounds really good. I'd like to do that. But I'm so afraid of hurting myself. Like, I don't want to go back and go through all that again. So we'll see if I'm dumb enough to try it and probably hurt myself.
You will be.
But
I know you. You will be.
I've been so excited about this podcast because I saw the picture that you posted on Facebook and on Instagram. You picked up some candy that I don't want to steal your thunder. But what the heck did you buy and why?
Well, you and I talked about this, that Brock's came out with the turkey dinner candy corn. And I went to go find it at Walmart and they didn't have it. I looked at Target, they didn't have it. Well, I happened to go to Walgreens to get my husband some aspirin for his back.
Of course. Apply directly to the back.
And I found, I'm putting it up here on the video, turkey dinner candy corn. And there are 6 different flavors: green beans, roasted turkey, cranberry sauce, ginger glazed carrot, sweet potato pie, and stuffing.
Oh boy. Okay.
And they're all kind of different colors. I'm not going to taste test all of them for you, but like obviously the green is the green beans. The red is I'm assuming the cranberry sauce. So I tasted them all.
Yeah.
They all taste like shit.
They're all bad.
Except I will say the turkey tastes like turkey. I sound like Willy Wonka. And the stuffing tastes like stuffing.
That's funny.
And they kind of have, like when you initially taste it, it tastes like candy corn, and then there's like an aftertaste. So I'm chewing it right now.
Which color did you put in? I couldn't see.
They're not really that great.
The candy corn to me is always kind of waxy.
Yeah, it has that texture.
Yeah.
I think that one was either the stuffing or the turkey. Hold on. These are the 2 better ones.
Okay.
Okay. No, they're not really that great. The first one was turkey. The second one was stuffing. So they're really, it's more of again, it's a novelty. I think if you go somewhere for Thanksgiving dinner, you bring it for the kids. It's almost like the crappy Jelly Bellies that taste funky. It's kind of like that game, but they're not that good.
I can see your face like struggling. These things are made for you though. Like this is something that you would buy. You would buy NFL candles or football candles that you talked about earlier. All those things are right up your alley. So thank you for taking one for the team.
Not good.
Ew, yeah. Get rid of those immediately. Before we wrap up today, I do have a development to share with everyone. I'm going to hold this up to the camera
what's going on?
Here. Look at that right there. That is a brand new postcard. If you're watching on YouTube, brand new
Those
postcard.
lips, those are your wife's lips.
But you said the last one, so I have all the cards here, so you can see the
But she's just moving them.
Uh-huh. But, well, here's...
See how it kind of goes, it kind of is in a downward... The lips are kind of, both of them are kind of in a downward, it's kind of down.
But I got to tell you, so I confronted both my wife and daughter again, and they swear it is not them. Now, I'm starting to have doubts about you, Maria. I'm starting to wonder if this is your doing. Are you the one? Are you're I see it. I see it on your face. Are you the ones?
No, I swear to you. I swear.
Sounds just like
totally
my wife.
Not me.
Yeah. Okay.
It is totally not me. If it was me, I would be impressed that I thought of it.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm 1, 2, 3. This is the 7th one that I've received.
It's really not her.
She says it's not. And my daughter says it's not. Let me read the genius that's on this postcard. It says, "Sorry, I drank all your beer. It was a hot day, or maybe it was cold. I don't remember. The point is, beer tastes really good." That's the card, and that's what I got. And then XO, and then the lips on the other side.
Okay, so what if? And honestly, I pinky swear it is not me.
Okay, I trust
pinky
you.
Swear.
I trust my wife too. She swears up and down. It's like, it's not me. I'm like, I don't know who it is.
Isn't she a little concerned that some other woman is sending you postcards?
Well, this is the theory that my wife dropped on me. And my mom's birthday is coming up. And we may make a visit to see her and my dad. Could it be my mom screwing with me?
Is your mom clever like that?
She definitely is. And she would get a kick out of this because I know she watches and listens to our podcast too. So could it be? I'm not saying it is. I really don't have any other ideas. I don't know who. I honestly thought it was, Stephanie and Georgia, my wife and daughter. I don't know.
If your mom did that, that's awesome.
Yeah. And if you're really the good one that is doing this, please come forward. Please solve this mystery. I feel like I'm playing this up. I honestly have no idea who it is. It's kind of strange.
What a great twist if it's mom.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, let's throw this out here. We talked a lot about dumb injuries today. That'll be our final question. If you want to put it on Facebook or Instagram, tell us, what was your dumb injury? Give us all the gory details, and we'll recap that on our next podcast. On Instagram, it's at Maria and Chad. On Facebook, just search for Maria and Chad, and you'll see the Doing Life with Maria and Chad Facebook page.
And you can also find us on Spotify and Pandora, Google Podcast, TuneIn, iHeart.
Pandora.
What else? Pandora. I always forget Pandora, and of course on YouTube.
And Stitcher too.
And Stitcher.
Yeah,
and Podbean.
On YouTube, by the way, you can see all the things that we talked about today. You can see the candy, you can see the postcard, everything else that was visual, the scratch on the side of my face. Go on YouTube and search for Doing Life with Maria and Chad, and make sure you answer that final question. Again, have you ever had a dumb injury? Tell us all of the details, and we'll talk about that on our next podcast.
Thanks again for listening to Doing Life with Maria and Chad. Follow us on Instagram at Maria and Chad. You can now listen to every episode on the iHeartRadio app, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Pandora, and of course, you can watch on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single episode.